What is something that you have to have? Like nobody wants to hang around you if you don't have.
Oh my gosh. I was about to say food, but that's so broad.
Yeah.
No, I'm a food junkie. Like junkie.
Like
I'll
junk
eat
food or just anything?
No, I'm not a big junk food person. But I mean, if you do put French fries in front of me, I'm not going to turn them down. So, but I love food as a whole.
What about things that you do need like on the road? Because I'm thinking
earplugs. How boring is that?
Earplugs.
Earplugs. I have to sleep with earplugs every night, even if I'm in a silent room.
Interesting.
You want to know something even more intense?
Yeah.
They say that your earwax is hereditary. That how much earwax you produce is hereditary. So I went to this ear doctor because my ears are so stinking clean. I'm like, can you clean them for me? I just want to see what it's like. She was like, I actually can't do anything to your ears because they're too clean. So I found out, it's a hereditary thing. So I thought if I'm putting earplugs in them, it must be pretty bad.
Wow.
Not at all.
So
you can still sleep with earplugs and have clean ears.
Now the question is, what do you do to keep your ears clean?
Every time I get out of the shower, every single time, 2 Q-tips.
Okay.
And sometimes 3 if I'm really feeling it.
Not at a time.
No.
I don't know. Like I'm picturing
Sorry.
you. Go on.
Just one per ear.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, huh?
That's
There's no
it.
other tricks? You don't have
There's
like
no other tricks.
You know those little drops you put in and
Nope.
have that little thing that pulls it out?
No drops, but make sure you drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of water. I
Yeah.
do.
You do.
Yeah, but what's like a random, earplugs are really it. Earplugs and Advil.
Because if you look on this, like when I was looking at like the places you have to go. Like, is it like Greenville and North Charleston in North Carolina or South Carolina? Sorry, that's like a 3-hour drive that you have to get there by the next. So what are you doing in that 3 hours?
I'm on the tour bus and we're either really loud or watching documentaries or movies.
Documentaries on what?
Like Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Quincy documentary? Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Is that the one where he even talks about, he kind of badmouths Michael Jackson a little bit?
Not that one.
Okay,
but I want to see that one. So many people have told me about this one. This one's just Quincy.
Got it.
And he talks about it, like shows his family life. It's more about his kind of story and how he lived the life that he lived while having the career that he had. That guy.
He's so involved with so many people that they don't even realize it. What else do you watch? What other weird documentaries?
The Mr. Rogers Neighborhood one.
Wow. So these are all like recent ones though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we watched 20 Feet from Stardom. Have you seen that one?
No.
It's incredible, but it's about Michael Jackson's background singers, all these background singers that were 20 feet from stardom. Like these were their dreams, their goals, and their spot was like 20 feet away from it every single night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty profound. And then I looked at my background vocalist and I was like, I will never treat you like that. I love you. I can't do this without you.
You should flip it and go,
yeah.
Picture now.
Yeah, you better.
Be good.
Yeah.
Quit screwing around.
Right now you're only 20 feet away, but I could put you at 50. I'm kidding.
Dang, she's hardcore.
No, not at all.
You don't live, where do you live now? You don't live in LA, right?
No, I live in Nashville.
Okay. Do you come to LA a lot?
Like every 2 weeks, seemingly.
No kidding.
Yeah.
For like this type of stuff or like just for
This is my first interview. This is the first time I've done. Yeah. It's brand new.
It's downhill from here.
I'm green.
This is the best.
That's what I've heard.
You know that, right?
That's what I heard.
Yeah. You wait.
So
they're terrible
it's kind
out
of exciting.
there. I'm kidding.
But no, just for different, like meeting different people, award shows.
Okay. What kind of stuff do you like to do when you come to LA and you're like, I have to go to
Great White.
What's that?
In Venice Beach. It's the best food.
Yeah.
Restaurant? And restaurant. That's all I do is eat. Like actually, it's all I do. And then I like do music on the side.
How are you not like 400 pounds?
I don't know. I think my adrenaline is at a constant on.
Could be.
Maybe I need 4 shots.
Yeah. Okay. Or
Maybe.
You don't work out a lot? Do any of that stuff to kind of keep yourself? Okay.
I think I'm just naturally hyper.
Yeah.
A little bit. But my
like
grandfather used to call me hollow leg because he said in order to eat as much as you eat, you must have a hollow leg. So he'd call me hollow leg.
That's funny. What other stuff do you like to do? You like to do like theme parks, Universal, Disney, any of that stuff?
Yes, I'm an adrenaline junkie. So like skydiving.
Ooh.
I love skydiving. I did it in Hawaii. Have you seen that Will Smith sketch where he's
On the is that the bridge in Sydney or something like that he was on in Australia?
I don't know. This is like a stand-up comedy thing that he did, or like a speech that he did.
Because there was a video where he went on top of the bridge in Australia. I thought
okay, that's our next one.
You can bungee jump from the bridge in Sydney. Yeah.
Okay, my producer is from Australia. He's from Perth, so
Perfect.
We went down there 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. But skydiving is amazing. Will Smith does this whole thing where he's like, you're drinking with your friends the night before. You're like, oh, let's go skydiving in the morning, and you're kind of joking, but everybody's together, so it's like, yeah, let's do it. And then before you know it, you're all in the lobby the next morning at 10 a.m. You're like, what are we actually doing this? But nobody's like gonna own up to the fact that they're freaking out. So he's like, yeah, we're all doing it. What are you freaking out about? And then all of a sudden, you're in a plane and the door opens and you're like, who is making me do this right now? Who's making me do this? And then you jump out and it's the best experience you've ever had in your whole life.
Everywhere.
Oh,
it's just.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from there. No,
So you're hitting Six Flags and all these places here.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm an adrenaline junkie. My manager and I did 400-foot cliff jump over crocodile infested water in Africa.
Your face on that, right? Nobody told you about that, did they?
We did this thing called, it was like a zip line. And the more I was like, zip line, that's so lame.
Yeah.
So we did the zip line. It was like still 400 feet in the air, but over the crocodile water. And I was like, that was kind of weak. We need to do something that like really is kind of adventurous. So they put you on this platform and you just have like a harness around your waist and you're pinned on your back and they're just like 3, 2, 1, push you off and you literally swing 400 foot down and probably about 1,000 feet wide.
So you're just eliminating parts of the zip line experience now, like the handles. There's nothing to hold on to.
Nothing to hold on to. And
this sounds like just terrible ideas.
I think I just need to get to as close as death as I possibly can and see if I can still live. No, I'm kidding. It's all the thrill. But I won't wingsuit.
Can you keep an eye on her? That they're texting each other right now.
She was like, she was terrified. She was like, I am not doing this. And then I'm like, no, we're doing it. She's like, competitive nature kicks in. Then we get on the platform and I'm like, wait, are we actually doing this? She's like, you are not getting me up here. The only way we're getting off is down. And so I was like, all right, let's go.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're hardcore.
It's fun.
Just the zip lining for now.
It's a lot more exhilarating than it might seem.
One step
you could
at a
do
time.
it. One step at a time.
I was trying to do the zip line. I'd never done it. And I was so nervous. And this little kid who was also part of the group, they're like, whatever, it's easy. So I got like a 4-year-old mocking me.
Oh, no.
These kids, they can do anything. They can do anything. And now
It's
I'm like worried
YouTube.
about vertigo and all this other, like any Dramamine before I do any of this type of stuff.
Yes. Every time. So speaking of 20 feet from starter, my background vocalists love carnivals. Love them. So anytime we do like a festival gig or something like that, they're like, where's the twirly rides at? And I'm like all about adrenaline, but those rides destroy me.
Like the teacups type of things?
Oh, never.
You're spinning
never.
nonstop.
My children are going to have a really bad time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting on those things with them.
Those don't end well.
No, they
Those don't end well at all. You're known as far as your music.
Mm-hmm.
You're known as more of a Christian artist.
Mm-hmm.
But now with all this mainstream, I mean, you're here. You're at MYfm.
Yeah.
Mainstream, hot AC. Things are, I guess there's just a 2-part question. First of all,
Cool.
What do you call yourself? How do you name yourself? Because do you call yourself still a Christian artist, even in the mainstream, or what do you call yourself?
I feel like those labels get put on you by other people,
Sure.
which is, and I'm not,
Like
that's
me,
not,
like I just did. Yeah.
No. Well, I was reading an article. I read them like here and there. Got to stay away sometimes, but then other times I'm like, indulge. And I was reading one, and one of them's like Christian artist, another one's just artist. So I think part of me is just artist because it encompasses everything.
Sure.
That's kind of how I see myself. And then what was the second part?
Well, the second part I was going to ask was, you're opening up to a whole different audience, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing this doesn't happen. I mean, you do hear some Christian artists that do break through and get through in the top 40 or AC or any of that. So now your audience is like completely, there's a little bit of fear I saw in your face. So what is that? What is that like? What changes? Are you more cautious, or obviously not based on the stories you just told me?
No, the risk is the best. Risk is the most beautiful thing. No, I the look on my face was like, here we go. It's a ride.
Yeah.
Just seeing how things have moved from point A to point B. Like while we were making the record, we were constantly in this state of studying the greats that kind of came before. Aretha Franklin, Roberta Flack, Andre Crouch. There's just a plethora of artists that we just listened to. Lauryn Hill, over and over. I remember talking so much, like, let's just make sure that we make music that we believe in, that's pure, true sound, and something that we love. And it'll transcend wherever it's supposed to go. But let's make sure that it's pure and authentic to who we are.
So you're not changing, even though some of the songs are becoming, more well-known. Like there was one in Grey's Anatomy, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be awesome, by the way.
Oh my gosh. I was like freaking out. People were messaging me all the time. She was like, I think it's going to be on Grey's Anatomy tonight. I was like, what? So people started blowing up my phone.
Right.
And the thing that's crazy, that is like such a personal story. That song was written from a personal story. So you look and see how people relate when you just share your experience. Like people can't deny, oh, this is something that I can relate to because she's human. She's going through that too. I've wrestled with the same thing. And I think that connectability is what makes it move beyond just one place.
So it's not so much you are changing something for that. It's they're opening up too.
Yeah.
Because of the message.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it, at least. Good. I still wrote the same record, or I used the same producers and same writers for the first record as I did the second one.
Cool.
So that kind of shows I'm not necessarily changing, but it's beautiful to see how wide these songs are going and the landscape that they're covering. Like,
now,
it's
how do
honestly
you know
refreshing.
that they are going that wide? And I ask because if you go on, like, even YouTube for You Say and stuff, and you look at the comments, you've got a billion comments, by the way. And the one weird thing, and you'll know this about YouTube, there's no negative ones on there at all, which is very odd for YouTube. Usually there's a bunch of people going in on you.
Yeah.
But, so do you go through and do you read these things and know that who you're reaching out to and know that it's hitting these people, or where are you kind of getting at?
That's exactly where, like YouTube, that one, or Instagram, I'll look a lot on Instagram, and it's crazy. Instagram, they offer a little bit more debate, but YouTube, you see these stories of people who are like, I was going to commit suicide and this song came on right before. And then someone else will jump on and say, well, I'm actually in the same spot. Can someone please help me? And they're not like shy about it or like timid. They're like desperate. Like, can you help me? Or can you help me? Please, someone, I need someone. And I think what's beautiful is in those spaces where you're right, like it can be so much ridicule, so much hate coming from those places. Now seeing this unification come across people, that is the whole purpose. Like, that's the whole gift behind it all. I just want to see people come together. I want to see it become something pure. And if someone is going through the worst of times, I want them to be able to hold on to the people around them and to the message of these songs and it pull them out, So for me,
it's heavy. That's a lot,
yeah,
probably for you to, at the end of the day, when you come off stage when thousands of people screaming and then you go through and read that. That's a lot to put on you.
It has been a journey to try to just figure out, what does this adjustment look like? How does it, even just now we had someone walk in, when we walked in, someone greeted us downstairs and just started crying and like shared her story. And it was so beautiful. And I think, same with the meet and greets and the Q&A, like when people sit down and they say, okay, ask a question for Lauren. And they say, I'm not asking a question. I got to tell you what happened to me. And it's like, all right, here we go. Brace for impact. And they just let everything out. Yeah. Like the most intense stories you've really ever heard. Sure. And to be on the other side of that it's just beautiful to see that what you're working hard for is actually engaging with people.
But to take
and that
all
the purpose
that on,
lives.
For yourself, and hopefully you have like a
way I go to a counselor.
Okay, and,
yes.
I was trying to figure out how can I, because obviously that like I was saying, that is a lot on you, but not on you. You know what I mean? Because you have to
figure out a way to keep it all really human.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if someone shares a bad day with you, you can say, man, I hate that that's your experience. Like, I hate that that's what you're going through. Now, if someone shares an experience that has been over a lifetime, you have to somehow figure out how to still have that ease of the approach. Like, I hate that has happened to you. How do I just let you know that you're loved even right now? Even though all of that's happened, how do I still transfer love to you? And just let it be that simple and that fluid, and not try to save or fix or do all the things that's what makes it so weighty.
You don't have to have an answer.
I don't have to have the answer. I can just be that in that place with that person, you know?
I kind of had this moment a little bit before you came in, because I was doing a little Instagram stalking, and you know how it says like followed by or whatever, and it said followed by Chris Pratt and Josh Sanders, who's a friend of mine who I work with over at the Dodgers. So he's a baseball reporter, sports guy, and I don't know Chris Pratt, but I know my friend Josh, so I called him and talked to him, and it was like this guy, sports guy who knows stats and details about it.
Wow.
He talked about your music makes him cry.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just like, wow, okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like transcendent. And you know what's so wild is whenever I used to listen to music and get so emotional, and now I'm in this space of like, I'm going to ride in the car without music and see what I can create, or just in that space, right? But then you have that one song that like crosses your plane again, and it just completely unravels you.
Sure.
You're like, wow, I can't believe like I have the ability to connect to something like this. Well, to see that can happen across the board for so many other people. When people say I cry to your music, I'm like, how in the world does that happen? That is so crazy.
You're like, I cry. It's terrible.
I've cried so many tears over this music.
But it's connecting, I'm guessing, in a couple ways too. And I know you have other places to be, but
oh no, it's beautiful.
But it's one thing about connecting with the vocals.
Yeah.
But with the melody of it too, that has to be the most freakiest part about it. When you put such a heavy vocal, how do you do this right melody and with the right chords and the chord changes? Because I know for me, I get really into like movie score-ish kind of stuff.
Yes.
And there's certain chord changes that just make you go, whoa. So now to match that with those kind of lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that sounds stressful.
It's intense, but I always say, okay, people who can't hear, people who are deaf can still hear music. Like that in of itself is a powerful revelation. But what is it about people that can't hear, how they can still connect to music? How is it also, that would be like the melody and the intervals and those kind of things. How is it also that when you add lyric to a song, people in a foreign country who don't even speak your language somehow can gravitate towards it?
Sure.
Like somehow they know what it's saying. And I think that right there is the power of music. So if you can,
and they're probably even learning English from your song too, as well.
Well, this is crazy. I received a video the other day from this little girl. We went and worked at this hospital and went down to Africa, and it was like a where if they have like amputated limbs or things like that, they like help rehabilitate.
Sure.
And this little girl is sitting there with a laptop on her head, like holding a laptop on her head.
Like balancing it?
Balancing it, learning English to you say. And they sent me the video like, look, this is what she's learning how to, and she's like fumbling through the words and she's like, I'm trying to, but she had this glow that she was so radiant. Like I get to experience music and I get to learn this way. It was so beautiful. It was so powerful. So I think if you can figure out, for me, it's like songwriting. A lot of times what I'll do is I will know, okay, this is the melody line I want to sing, but I don't necessarily have the words right away. So I'll use the vowel shape that I love and that fits that melody really well. Like what vowel shape connects to these intervals and to this melody. Wow. And then I'll form the words off of those vowel shapes, but make sure that it still connects to the message that I want to deliver. That's kind of...
I mean, I get it, but wow, that's...
My producer's studio has this reverb room, and I was in there, and we had just finished like praying, and it was all somber and everything. And I was like, okay, wait, I got to tell y'all this melody. Nobody talk because I got to get this out. And I just sang, oh, dee-dee-do, 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 because the way the reverb worked in the room, the O-shaped vowel was like, the spin on it was really beautiful. And now the lyric is, I've been a winding road, oh, I know you know. So it's using that O-shaped vowel that was
cool.
formed in.
What a cool, where did you learn that?
I
Watching
don't
Quincy
know.
Jones documentaries.
Yeah, watching Quincy Jones. I've done that like, even when I was a little kid, like, and would record little ditties here and there, like as a teenager. I would do stuff like that. But I did hear, I don't know if it was Michael Jackson or it was one of it was Bono. Bono
Oh, sure.
writes like that. Like they said that he'll be in the studio just laying things down, and he's just making vowel shapes all day long. All he's doing is focusing on vowel shapes.
Wow,
And
that's
then
incredible. Yeah,
I
you
was
can
like-
picture someone like a Sting, or even
Yeah.
to go more recent, like Ryan Tedder from One Republic.
Yes.
Who's this vocal genius with other.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear him doing that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's cool. Music is a
copyright
cool
that.
thing. Yeah.
I don't know if you can or not, but like claim it, name it. I'll let you go and do your thing, but thank you so much for taking the time to come here. And
thank
We
you.
can't wait to play your song over and over and over and over and over again.
Thank you so
and
much.
make you lots of money.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. It's not
This
about
is
that, but-
sweet.
No, good. Well,
This
come
has
in
been
anytime,
awesome.
please.
I will. I'll do it. Thank you.